Now in its 10th year, this is Gabnet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Oh, hey everybody, live from Harlem in New York City. It's me, it's Alex, and this is the Ramble. There she is, down in Florida, lovely and attractive Lori Thompson. Hasn't aged a day since I worked with her.
Your check is in the mail. Oh,
You know what I suddenly realized, and we're going to get back to what we were talking last time because we want to talk about chiropractors. So let's remember that. But
yeah.
what I did during the Olympics, my mind always flew back to the Olympics we went to, and we went to quite a few of them.
We did.
We
yeah.
went to, I think,
Several.
4 in a row, if winter and
We did.
summer.
Yeah.
Maybe 5. Wait a minute, 5? No, 4. 4. Yeah, there was Albertville, there was Barcelona, there was what do you call it? What was it? The up in
Lillehammer, Norway.
Lillehammer.
And then there was, and I went to Nagano, but I think that you had graduated from like 105.
Yeah, I went to Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta. I remember that one.
Yeah.
And the bomber hadn't been caught yet.
Hadn't been caught yet. No, they hadn't been blown up yet. We went there. We hung out there, and then we went back home. And I went, guess what just got bombed? You know, the place we were going and getting Slurpees from. You know. Anyway.
No Slurpees today.
Anyway. So and all of a sudden I realized I have almost every of the videos. You know, I used to make videos of everything.
I love those videos.
I have the one when we did Albertville, when we were in the Alps and in that what do you call it? What do they call those houses? Chalet. And I have that, but I don't have the video I made of Barcelona and Lillehammer. And I think it's in my storage, but I just never. Yeah.
And Ibiza was in there too, so it might be under Ibiza because we did a lot.
No, but it ends with Ibiza. Barcelona ends with Ibiza. It ends with us in bed together.
Oh, my.
No, you remember we took out a room. We only had one room in the hotel. We took it and you slept in the same bed with me. You know.
That's right.
But we did this whole bit, you know, about us not. Oh, gee, we've never done, and then we start, you know, and it goes out. It goes fades to black as you hear the moaning. But I don't know.
We did our own moaning.
I don't know where that tape is, and I think it's probably in storage, and I just never committed it to a digital file.
Yeah. Is your storage near the house?
No, it's near if you call Petaluma near. Yeah.
Well, it's all relative, right? You can have Bill Mann keep an eye on it.
It used to be near me. It's not now. You know.
I know that's the thing. When you get that's like the storage locker, and the funeral issue is also about where you live most of your life. Are you going to be buried where you were born? You're going to be buried next to your parents. You know, when you've lived several places, it becomes a question.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know where they are, but I'm just going to have them send me all the tapes that I have up there. And
that's a great idea.
You know, and then I can store them here somewhere. Believe it or not, we have 2,500 square feet, no more room left.
Oh, I believe it.
You know.
Yeah, because the storage lockers almost make it worse because you have that, safety valve.
Well, I could tell them to send me the videotapes, you know.
Yeah, just have that.
All the videotapes, and then I can, if there's some I don't want to keep, I'll throw them out. But these are all masters, you know. And, anyway, so but I don't have those, but I was remembering them, and you know how really great the Barcelona opening ceremonies were. You know, And I compared them to the French opening ceremonies, and I don't know if you've watched the French opening ceremonies, but they were terrible, just terrible.
Well, there's no actual flame involved. Did you know that?
No, they had a cauldron.
Yeah.
No, well, you can do that. That's a flame, you know.
That's
and I
fair.
thought the fact that it was on a balloon, it was hovering over Paris. I think that was good. That was interesting. Celine Dion, I was amazed by. I was never a fan of hers, and then I heard her sing the other night, and I went, she just nailed it. Just, you know.
Yeah.
Probably
she brought it.
Better than she's ever been, and she's been very ill.
Very, with that stiff person disease.
Yeah, stiff person disease, right.
Yeah, she did totally rise to the occasion.
I got stiff person disease, but it was only below the waist, so
It was chronic for several years.
It was chronic for several years. Right.
Bad boy.
Bad boy. Don't do that. You know, don't tell the girl I like her. Anyway, so it, you know, then I thought about for instance, Barcelona. Went to that Elton John concert, which was
that was
wonderful, and it's on video. You know, that's available on video.
Yeah.
And we went to that, and you know, then we of course having O.J. Simpson buy us drinks.
That was fun. That was kind nice. It became more interesting after he killed that pretty white wife of his.
Yeah,
but it was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot, you know. So I mean, that was a lot of fun. And then the one in Lillehammer, I had a lot of stuff. I'm sure I made a video out of it. Did I give you any of those videos?
No, that's what I would love. One of Ibiza. That would be so rocking.
Well, the Ibiza is on the Barcelona. Yeah.
Yeah, that would, because you made some great quality.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure I've got it in storage. I'm sure I do. Either that or I've got the raw footage in storage. You know, so
and some lovely storage part-timer would love to go in and fetch your videotapes and put them in a box.
Yeah, and I have a what do you call it here? I have several machines that will play almost any of the tapes that I recorded on over the years. So
great, multi-format.
Yeah, so I could copy it and make it. But I'm just wondering. All of a sudden, I didn't know where did they go, because I put almost everything up online that I did on video, and we have the one where we were in the Alps. I have that one, but otherwise I can't find the other ones. So I assume they're in storage.
Yeah, and it's so frustrating when you can't. You're like, well, they could be there, they could be here, they could be here. And when you check the last place, and there's always one place you kind of hold an escrow, because if it's
and that's
not
where
there,
they are. Yeah.
It's gone.
No, well, in this case, the only place they can be is in storage. I didn't throw them out, and they got to be in storage. You know, so.
You can call Petaluma High School, and kids can get a class credit for going over videotape. It would work.
Well, I'm gonna ask him if he can just find the tape. But if he can't find them in my stuff, I'm just gonna tell him, send me all my videotapes. He sent me all the audio tapes. I have almost every show we did at Live 105.
Really? Now I had a whole lot of them. There was the day after we were fired, or after I got the news. Actually, it wasn't. They paid out my contract. I have no bone to pick with CBS. It was good. But that after we got the news, the day after, I went with a rolling suitcase.
Well, when did you get fired?
It was, I believe, in May of '98.
May of '98. And like I said,
it was handled so kindly. Dan Mason of CBS, I am such a fan of his, because he handled it.
I got to know him here in New York a little bit, because he was a friend of a friend of mine. I used to go over to dinner at his house, and Dan was sometimes there. So, yeah.
He's just a wonderful gentleman.
Nice guy.
And he's from Kentucky, and I could tell, even though I didn't know anything about him other than he was giving us our walking papers, that he was from Kentucky or had grandparents or from Kentucky.
Well, this was when you were still there after I left, because Johnny Steele was there.
Yes,
and he was there for about 3 months, and then they just ripped the show off the air, and gave it and started porting in Howard Stern.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was their game plan, and I knew that the minute CBS bought us, that we were, I saw the writing on the wall, because that's what they were doing, going to major markets.
What they were doing, they hired Johnny Steele, the rat fuck. And
whoa!
Yeah.
I can't describe you that.
Well, no, he used to. Here's how he got his job. How he replaced me. He kept going into Pat. What's his name? The general manager.
McNally.
Pat McNally's office, and going, Alex been mean to me today.
What?
Yeah, one day Pat says, why have you been mean to Johnny? And I said, I wasn't mean to him. I just have a lot of things on my mind when I'm doing a show. I can't pay attention to him every moment. And he did that constantly. He was in there just fighting for my job, and by yelling and screaming at Pat that I wasn't treating him well, and then kissing Pat's ass. And so finally they let me go, and they put Johnny in there. That's how he got his goddamn job. He's a real weasel.
That wasn't very kosher. Yeah. And he was easy to work with, but I thought the show took a downscale.
Because he wasn't a radio person. He didn't know what he was doing.
It became, it just became a little...
You know what happened? There was a big mistake that a lot of radio stations made in trying to compete with me, okay? Because they would always go out and hire a comedian. They thought because I had comics on the show, if they hired a comedian, then they would be like doubling their chances. But the fact is, comedians don't know how to do radio shows.
The pacing is completely different.
And a very simple reason why, and I've talked about this with Larry, and Larry agrees totally. It's the same reason I can't do stand-up. I am trained to go into a studio and do a show for 4 hours if I have to.
Yeah, marathon.
Okay? 3 hours sometimes if they're kind. Okay? But 4 hours many times. I can do that. I used to be able to do that standing on my head, because that's what I was trained to do. I was trained how to pace myself, and how to use other people, and how to play off of other people, and how to pace myself out for 4 hours. A comedian they go to Johnny Steele and they say, Johnny, we're giving you Alex's show, and the first morning he goes on, he does all his material, and the second morning he doesn't have any.
That is a real obstacle for a lot of comedians.
They do not know how to do radio. Just ridiculous. And so everybody they ever threw against me who was a comedian never succeeded at that job.
I remember. And one comedian that did it, I thought, really well was when he would sub for you, was Greg Proops.
Greg Proops was good. But then again, subbing for me doesn't work either. I mean, if he had to do it every day, I don't think he could do it.
Yeah, it's hard to maintain.
Now get me a good radio person who's been doing the kind of show that I do, or whatever. And nobody does the show I do, but but does an entertainment show, and he can do it. He might not do it as well. He might not get the ratings. A lot of variables, but still, he's going to do it better than any comedian you're going to bring in to do it.
This is true. Pacing is a huge part of it.
And Johnny Steele, I called Johnny Steele Sherbert, because when you go to a meal and it's like a 10-course meal, between certain courses they give you sherbet to cleanse your palate.
Right.
All right. And he was sherbet. He was the sherbet between me and Howard Stern. In other words, everybody cleansed their palate of me. Then they brought in Howard Stern. Then Howard didn't look bad like he was replacing me, because he was replacing Johnny.
Very true.
And that's why they didn't immediately, as soon as they let me go, because they could have done it, start running Howard Stern in San Francisco, because it would be kind of nasty. You know, I mean, for a while there, Mel Karmazin tried to hire me away from Live 105, if you may remember.
I remember rumblings.
They wanted me to go to Washington, D.C., and I didn't go. I said, yeah, I'll take the job, because they were offering me just as much money, but they were also offering me syndication.
Oh, man, Ben, yeah. I've often thought that is the crucial difference between you and Stern. Yeah. He had syndication available to him for the most of the time.
I went in, I gave my notice to Pat, and Pat says, well, you got a contract. I said, yeah, but if you look at the contract, you can get rid of me in 5 minutes, so I can get rid of you in 5 minutes. So, I mean, there has to be an equity there. Anyway, I said, I feel sorry about it, but, I'm offered a good job. It's in Washington. Mel Karmazin, he's the guy who made Stern a star, with his organization. And I said, I've just got to go. And so he said, okay. So now we come closer to the day that that I'm supposed to get the contracts from Karmazin. And Karmazin will not send them to me until I officially quit. I don't think I had officially quit yet.
Oh, and that's a dangerous...
Yeah, what that would have done is that would have left me in a never land between having a job and not having a job, and having a job waiting, which is promised, but I don't know if this guy is going to be good on his word, because I had always heard terrible things about Mel Karmazin. Okay?
Yeah, I just had a few meetings with him, and he was civil but very businesslike.
Yeah, and I finally said, oh, I can't do that because I'm not going to quit my job till you make sure I have another one to go to.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how honorable a man Mel Karmazin is. I realized that when I suddenly worked for him at Sirius XM, when I was at Sirius, and I got to know him a little bit. I saw him in the break room one day, and I went up to him and I said, hi, Mel, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Alex Bennett. He says, of course I know who you are, Alex. I'm a fan.
Yeah. I always thought he was a stand-up guy. Dan Mason.
And I suddenly realized, well, Dan Mason was working for him at the time.
Yeah,
exactly. And I just said, this guy, I made a big mistake by not going to work for this guy, because he really is okay. Not that he had flattered me or whatever, but the fact that he was an upstanding guy. He gives his word, and he sticks by it. And what he didn't want to do is he didn't want to be perceived as stealing me away from them. Because he wouldn't want people stealing people away from him. So I had to quit first before he could hand me the contract. And had I done it, he would have handed me the contract because he was an honorable man. Kept his word. But that's why I stayed in San Francisco. And made, I think, maybe one of the biggest mistakes in my life, in my career. Because
but then you were doing the best that you could with the information that you had.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, yeah. But if I had gone with Mel Karmazin, and by the way, a great guy, just a great guy. I just, I think the reason I lasted at Sirius XM as long as I did was him. The minute he was out the door, my job was in jeopardy. So, I mean, he was a great guy, just a terrific guy. But anyway, that's the story about me almost leaving Live 105 in San Francisco. But I decided to stay, and they said, well, we'll get you syndicated. And they never did.
Yeah, syndication, man, was the magic ticket.
Well, it was starting to be, courtesy of Stern,
Yeah, Stern was like the first lucky recipient of the syndication.
Somebody I know came up with a statement the other day, and I love the statement. He said, you paved the road that Howard Stern drove on.
I agree exactly. I think that's a very apt analogy.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. I like that. My ego loves that. Anyway, we were talking about last time, and we should get to it because we promised we would get to it. Chiropractors.
Yeah, and you're not a fan of them.
Marjorie goes to a chiropractor, twice a month, right?
Yeah.
And
for what particular ailment?
her back. Her back. But her back is still trashed. No matter what this guy does, it's still trashed. Maybe he makes it feel better for about an hour and a half,
Yeah.
So I had some, what was a back problem? I can't remember what it was exactly. She said, you got to go to my chiropractor. She was always saying this. So I said, okay, I'll go. So I went to him. He didn't do anything.
It didn't improve, not even slightly.
He did some mumbo jumbo of like playing with my back and stuff, and I walked out, and what was ailing me was still ailing me. And he said, "Well, you can't do it all in one visit."
Right.
I said, "Well, Marjorie has been doing this for how many visits? Like 800 over the years with you, And I never went back."
Well, yeah, if you're not getting results, then there's no incentive.
Well, I mean, I go to a doctor. I say, "Oh, hey, listen, doc, my back is aching," and he gives, he'll like do some adjustments or whatever he needs to do, and they'll give me some pills to go home with.
Yeah,
and prescribe
here's some
me
Celebrex. That's fine.
He can do something that a chiropractor can't do. Prescribe.
Right. And that is the key.
Well, the only thing a chiropractor can do is send you home with aspirin. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, forget it.
I want some kind of, shall we say, immediate result. No, I don't expect to be 100% better. I expect to be 1% better, just somewhat better. And I've talked to doctors who've said, if you go to a doctor and you see him and you don't feel better than when you went in, then don't go back. You should
Very
be able.
True. Yeah, I went to, we were on a cruise, and so I went to an acupuncturist because I have compound fractures in my back. And plus the fact that we were going to these, walking 3 and 4 miles up these ruins of 800 steps did not help, surprisingly enough. And so I went to the acupuncturist and I felt some relief. And I remember thinking, if you were available all the time, if a person could have like an in-house acupuncturist, I think it would help.
Well, I mean, acupuncture, they don't know whether acupuncture works or not. All we know is that billions of Chinese go to acupuncturists, okay? And they are taken care of by acupuncturists. And it is said that there was this guy, I read a book, and he went to China and he had some problem. He had to go to the hospital and they gave him acupuncture, but it didn't work. And he said, it's kind of a belief in it that helps it work.
Just like most things.
He said that's what it is. It's so many people in China use it and swear by it, and it is the main form of medicine in China, is acupuncture. And he said it's because they believe it works.
Right. It's been tried and true, at least tried, and with some success over the centuries.
But, I can't say the same for chiropractic.
Well, my cousin is a chiropractor, and he explained to me, because we're cousins, exactly what are the money-making components of a chiropractic practice and what are the actual good. And I wasn't quite happy with the balance.
The balance did not.
Versus. Yeah, but he's a good chiropractor. He's the one in Lafayette, Indiana. No, Lafayette, Louisiana.
Now listen, if they just admit that they do a good job of realigning your back, or just giving you a good massage, okay, fine. Yeah. But when they try and put all the science behind it, no, we can cure migraines with it, and so on and so forth. Goodbye. I'll see you later.
Yeah. But what's good for migraines, are being used widely now, is Botox.
Yes. Yes. Botox is good.
And Botox can also help with incontinence. What they do basically is insert Botox into your bladder, and it stiffens it up enough so that you don't wee yourself at the Golden Corral.
Really?
It's being used.
We're finding out that certain drugs do things better than they should, than what they were originally prescribed for.
Right,
I
the
mean,
off-label.
I can't remember what Botox was originally prescribed for.
Oh, vanity, taking away wrinkles.
But besides that, though, I think it was for something else as well, if I'm not mistaken, some
Perhaps
medical condition.
it's a versatile little bugger.
It's kind of like that stuff for diabetes. What's the name of it? Ozempic.
Oh my gosh, Ozempic is everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a shot for diabetes, but it makes you lose weight. So people are now using it to lose weight, and doctors are shooting people up with Ozempic.
Yeah.
They just don't realize what's going to happen when they stop the Ozempic.
With their diabetes levels?
No, they just get fat again. As long as you keep taking the Ozempic, it keeps the weight off. But the minute you stop taking the Ozempic, it's not like you take the Ozempic, you get down 30 pounds, and then you stop it. Because once you stop it, you're going to go right back up again.
Yeah, maybe you can taper off it and then kind of re-educate your eating habits.
Yeah.
That might be a possibility.
Hey, we're over time here.
Well, my goodness.
We've run over time.
The radio popo is going to come get us.
The radio what?
Popo, the police.
Oh, police popo.
Yes, my niece hangs out with many people of the African American persuasion, and that's where she picked up popo. That and the lifestyle she was leading led her to the popo.
Popo, poo-poo, popo, papa. Hey, talk to you later, kiddo.
Okay.
Laurie Thompson, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.
Now in its 10th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Well, thank you so much to the lovely and attractive, what's her name? Oh, yeah. Pretty good, huh? Pretty good. Okay, anyway, let me see here. What are we... Well, I'm wondering, my audio seems a little bass, but that's okay. I don't care. Anyway, we have one person waiting. Okay, listen, here's what's going to happen tomorrow night. Excuse me, let me do this. Oh, there, that's much better. Hold on a second. It'll calm down in a moment. There you go. I'm not going to do a show tomorrow night. And here's the reason why. Tomorrow night is the night that Kamala Harris accepts her nomination for President of the United States. And I think a lot of people here are going to want to watch that. I think it's also the reason why we don't have that many people right now, because they're all watching the convention. So tomorrow night, I'm not going to do a show. Tomorrow night, I just want you all to watch the Democratic convention. The other problem is, and I got to tell you, this has just been terrible. It's the one terrible thing the Democrats have done. They are idiots. They are morons. And here's what it is. And you've heard people talk about it. The other night, I was waiting for, let me see here, who was the main speaker on Monday night? I'm trying to remember now. Oh, geez, I can't remember. Anyway, they didn't go on until 11:25. Now, come on, 11:25? To begin with, that's 11:25 here in New York. And people are going to bed because they have to go to work the next day. So the entire East Coast was completely lost to the Democrats and to whatever major speech was being given at that time. I'm trying to remember, who was it? Gee, my mind is such a blank these days. I mean, I can tell you who the one is tonight. It's Waltz, and tomorrow night it's Kamala. But on Monday night, it was... God, I'm trying to remember now. Oh, it was Biden. Of course, it was Biden. And Biden gave his speech, and I wanted to watch it. Everybody wanted. Marjorie wanted to watch it. She couldn't watch it. She got so tired she had to go to sleep. She had to watch it the next morning. what happens is a lot of people can't do that. Now, here's what happens. It's 10:30 in or 10:25, let's say, in Chicago. Okay. If they did it at 9:25 in Chicago, you would still get the Midwest getting it at 9:25. You would also get the West Coast getting it at dinner time, and you would still have people watching it here in New York. But they just started putting it on too late. And tonight they're doing the same thing again. Waltz wasn't on when I was looking a few minutes ago. They had Oprah going, and then they had the governor of Maryland giving a speech. And I don't know, maybe he's on already. I don't know. I'll have to ask our people here who are assembled and ready to go on. So, it's really pretty terrible what they did. It was not very good for the people who really wanted to see these people and couldn't do it. I mean, I know that here in New York, even though New Yorkers they stay up late and they party hardy and all of that, they got to go to work the next day, and to ask them to stay up till say midnight or after midnight, maybe midnight 15, to see the speech by Biden was asking a bit much, and it was really sheer stupidity on the part of the people who created the convention. I mean, and they were telling everybody, "Oh, hey, he's going to be on at 10 o'clock tonight." And then we're going through one speech and another speech and another speech and another speech until we're finally up to our asses in hearing people pretty much all say exactly the same thing. There was no really great originality in the speeches. The content was pretty much the same. A certain liberal amount of bashing of Trump and the fact that he's a felon and this thing and that thing. And it wasn't until we got to last night with Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, who also went on late, okay, but Barack Obama, that we got to, some kind of decency where the speeches were concerned, where it wasn't a constant bashing of Trump. It was a jibing to a certain extent, but Anyway, all I'm saying is the Democrats were stupid. Okay, period. I don't know if Charlie will agree with me or Jeff Stein will agree with me, but we'll go to them and see what they have to say here. Let's go look. There we go. Okay. All right. Hello to Jeff. Hello, Jeff. How are you? Are you okay, Jeff? Agree with me or Jeff Stein will agree. No. Hello, Jeff. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, and we can hear you. Okay, you don't have to turn anything else up. Just leave it the way it is, okay?
That's fine.
And, of course, we have our good friend Charlie Wallace. Hello, Charlie. How are you this evening? Charlie?
There he is.
Yeah, I'm here now. I was watching it on YouTube. I guess there was a delay.
Yeah, oh, I see. Okay. All right. Have you been watching the convention tonight?
No.
Yes.
No?
This is more important. I can see that. I can see that later tonight on YouTube or something.
Yeah, I don't mind people complaining. They're going to be replays all day tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
but I mean,
why complain? Just go to bed.
Yeah, but there were a lot of people who stayed up to watch it because they were told that Biden was going to go on at 10 o'clock, and then here it is, 11:25, and still no Biden. Okay, so I mean, they got to go to bed. All right.
Yeah.
And then they get a little pissed off at the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party didn't live up to their, to their schedule.
Well, at least the Democratic Party had people you'd want to listen to.
Yeah, well, yeah, but as I say, they were all giving the same speech over and over and over again. The only time it got original is, I think, probably the best speaker I've ever seen at a convention was Michelle last night. Mm-hmm. And she was phenomenal. She was just phenomenal. And I mean, and Barack was terrific too, but we've seen him a lot, so we're used to him, you know. But she doesn't speak that often. And the speech she gave, I mean, you know, there have been people over the years who've said she should run for president. And I'm sure last night that didn't abate that discussion, you know, because they watched her give a speech and they went, doesn't get much better than that, you know.
Well, she had already said no several times.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She didn't want it. She didn't want to be. She didn't want to be first lady. She, you know, she simply went kicking and screaming with Barack to the Oval Office, you know, and she became a great first lady. But you know, I mean, she was not that fond of Washington politics and having to deal with all of that, you know, and so on. But gee, I mean, what a couple, huh? What a couple.
Just like Trump and Melania, huh? What a couple.
Yeah, I mean, two people just absolutely adore each other, you know, and it's not fake. That's not fake.
No.
That speech last night was so good that I decided I was going to watch the speeches on Fox. Not for any other reason. The picture's the same on every network, but I wanted to see what they were going to say after the speeches. And I was gobsmacked. Did anybody watch Fox last night?
No.
No.
They sat there going, she was great. He was terrific. And who was the person that went on before them? Oh, the future first gentleman, Imhoff. They said he was terrific. I mean, they were all gushing over how good these people were. And normally these are people that just bash them constantly.
Yeah.
And here's Fox, these people, these commentators on Fox going, boy, wasn't she terrific?
So they did this when Trump was running in 2020. They were all pro-Trump until it became somewhat evident that Trump probably wouldn't win. And so they switched parties towards the end, just like Fox News.
I don't think Fox News ever was positive towards Obama.
I'm not talking about Obama. I'm talking about Biden.
Biden? I never heard them
when
be.
Biden got when he got closer and it made it, and the election looked more like Biden was going to become president, and then Trump, not Trump. They dropped Trump and went pro Biden.
I don't remember them doing that. Does anybody here remember them doing that?
Yeah.
I don't watch Fox News, so I have no
Oh,
idea.
well, that's a great excuse. Josh, you got no picture.
Josh, are you there? Josh, you're not. You got no picture. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Okay.
There you are.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you now. Yeah.
All right. I might have to call you back. It said I had a poor connection.
Yeah. You're kind of like out of sync and everything.
I'll call back.
Call right back. Okay. All right. But no, I mean, it was amazing what I saw, you know. And they said, boy, that was somebody, one of them, I think, even said that's one of the best speeches I've seen anybody ever give at a convention.
Wait till you get to my age. You get so forgetful.
Yeah. But I was just amazed at them. And it wasn't like, they're still pro-Trump. They still excuse everything that Trump does. But they had to admit, these were three great speakers last night. And I thought she was wonderful. And Imhoff was charming as hell. You know, I mean, it just gave you an insight into their marriage, and it was just all the fun things in a marriage. And the convention has been pretty joyful overall. Maybe it's getting over joyful because I got a diabetes last night from all the sugary sweet quality of it. But you know, I mean, it really was amazing. It was amazing, it's always great to see Obama, and it's always great to see Michelle, and it's always great to hear them talk about their lives. And it was a wonderful time. You know, for a foreigner, he does okay, you know, giving a speech. So, You know, a guy who was born in Kenya. You know, so.
Did you hear Clinton?
I hear Clinton.
He's talking tonight.
Yeah, Clinton was okay. You know, a little.
Wait a minute. Clinton's already spoke tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that part.
He's the same age as mine, I think.
As you?
As you?
Yeah, he's a
Almost
little older
90,
than I
huh?
am.
Wow.
No, he said he was in 70 something or other.
Yeah,
That's
you know, he looked healthy. Okay, he just didn't sound healthy. Okay.
Yeah.
And that just might be because he's getting older and his voice is changing and he's, you know, he's sounding old.
I was surprised how good Hillary looked. I saw some excerpts.
Yeah, she looked fine.
From last
I
night.
missed her. Although I saw her she was standing and they saw pictures of him while Clinton was speaking.
See, I guess I would have kept the Clintons away. The only reason being that the Clintons have a certain reputation among those people that hate them. Okay, so why bring that out? How can you possibly hate the Obamas? You can dislike their politics, but you can't hate them. There was never any scandal while he was president or scandal after he was president, you know? One of the most honest people ever to inhabit the Oval Office. But on the other hand, Clinton had a lot of baggage with him, you know?
Screwed up. with girls.
Yeah.
Young.
I think Clinton did good as president.
I thought he was a very good president, but that doesn't matter. I'm saying that, you know, like they've asked movie stars to stay away or to not, you know, make their presence a big deal at the convention because they don't want people to think that this is a celebrity deal, okay? And there are celebrities there, and they had Mindy Kaling emceeing tonight. And so on, and I think they're going to have John Legend. See, they're going to sing tonight or tomorrow.
He was already singing when we started.
Oh, he already sang, and isn't Beyond?
No, he was singing. I saw in the chat.
Oh,
that he was on stage singing.
Oh, right now, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't.
Anyway.
They don't have him on yet. You know, they don't have Walls on yet. My God. I should turn on
the. You can watch it on YouTube tomorrow.
Huh?
You can watch it on YouTube tomorrow.
Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube tomorrow, but that's not as much fun as seeing it when it happens. You know, and people will go tomorrow. They'll forget to go look for it. You know, so I don't know.
But I'm up a lot later, and I'm up till 4 a.m. in California, and so, you know, I'll watch it during the night.
Yeah, well, you get to watch it right now, you know, and it's like 7:20 or something like that out there. 8:20. Wow, it's even getting late out there.
Happens.
And after they'd had that kerfuffle on Monday, with Biden getting on very late on the East Coast, they didn't do anything to change the problem the next day.
They had to get enough cups of coffee in them to keep them awake. And, you know,
what's wrong if the president spoke at 7 o'clock California time, would that have bothered you? You're home, you're eating dinner, you know, maybe you've just finished dinner. You know, you watch the president. But instead, they waited until, well, by the time he got on, it was like 8:30 in California. It's just that you could have seen it. It would have been convenient to people all over the country if they just gotten him on by like 10:15, something like that, you know. But anyway, what did you think about it, Josh? Have you been watching it?
Not. I watched Monday, but I couldn't watch last night, and I've watched some tonight.
And you watched some tonight, yeah.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you watch it last night? Just not convenient?
Well, I gotta tell you, Monday, late evening, I took what is legal in my state, a THC capsule, and I didn't feel anything for 4 or 5 hours, so I took another.
Oh, no.
And that was a huge, huge, huge fucking mistake, even for someone who does hard shit that I've done. I never really was into that shit, so I tried it, and I was fucked up beyond belief. So
Been there, done that.
I'm just now able to hold a conversation. I don't know, man. I mean, I was in bed for 36 hours after. I mean,
Really?
I didn't eat for 40 hours. I mean, I'm serious. I didn't eat for 40 hours. I didn't.
It reminds me.
Nope, I didn't fucking do shit.
It reminds me of the time that Marjorie got some THC chocolate, right?
Yeah.
And she ate the whole bar. She thought you could eat the whole bar, and
Those
she
edibles
was
are strong.
she was wrecked for 3 days.
Yeah, I'm on the third day. I mean, like, it started happening during Biden's speech because I remember coming back down, and I mean, obviously I was fucked up, but I mean, I was just like, he's still talking, you know, what the fuck? This guy never shuts up. I mean, it was just like, I don't know. I sat here for 6 or 7 hours after that until the morning when my wife came down, and I was just like, I fucking almost called the ambulance, you know? I was like, I'm serious. Like, I was going to go outside and just call the fucking ambulance because the shit was fucking bad, man. I mean, for 4 or 5 hours, I was fucking not comprehensible at all whatsoever.
Really?
My 24-year-old nephew went to a concert, and he meant to take his gummies with him, but left them on the counter. My 90-year-old mother never even thought that they could have marijuana in them, so she ate all 4 of them.
Oh,
and ended up in the hospital.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I'm serious,
she was a mess.
I couldn't feel my face on the right side. I'm fucking serious, man.
I've done it. I don't do edibles.
I tried to watch television.
I don't do edibles.
I tried to watch
either.
TV, and I started watching like the new season of the Vikings, and I'm dead. I mean, like, their lips and the words were not. It didn't match, and it was fucking driving me fucking insane. I mean, like, I couldn't.
Is there a new season of the Vikings?
Yeah, it just came out. It's the last one of the one that followed up the original or whatever. And I've been doing so much work. I've been like waiting until I could pay attention to watch it, because if I watch it, I'm doing something else to distract me. But I don't know how much I watched, like maybe a half an hour or something. I fucking couldn't. I just turned the TV off and fucking smash it up, because I was like, these motherfuckers are talking, and I can't.
You did this when? Monday?
Monday night, yeah.
Monday night. So how is Biden when you're that stoned?
Honestly, man, I really can't remember. I mean, it was pretty fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, but I don't know. It was. I mean, he seemed like he did okay. I remember afterwards, the only thing they really talked about was how late it was on, which I agreed, you know, was a little bit, not really sure why they went. I mean, they said they ran behind and all that, you know, and I get that.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, that was a bad deal. And tonight, I don't think our main act went on today. Waltz didn't get on till
he just came on. He's not even started speaking yet, so it's 11:23, I guess.
So they're doing the same thing tonight with Walls that they did with didn't they learn anything with Biden the other night?
They don't care about the East Coast.
They should, because you got all the Carolinas and the West Virginias and the Floridas and all of that.
And he just accepted the Democratic vice president nomination.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just started speaking maybe 30 seconds ago or whatever.
Yeah, I accept your nomination.
Maybe you should have gave him one of your whatever you ate, Josh.
Throwing that shit.
I'd love to see Trump that high.
No, you wouldn't. He'd be slower than he is already.
Last time I had an edible, I couldn't stop the room from spinning for about 12 hours. I had to lay down and bury my head.
I just don't like edibles because you don't really know how strong they are.
No.
You know? And sometimes they're just right, you know, and they've apportioned them correctly.
Right.
But you don't really know. And
sometimes you take one, and 3 hours later you go, "Nothing's happening. I'll take another one."
that's why I prefer
I've done that too.
That's why I prefer a joint, or to a lesser extent a vape, because I know I take a puff and I know I'm going to get high. You know, and if I take 2 puffs, I'm going to get higher. But you know, it's not something I can't control. You know, so whatever. You know, so. But I thought that I thought that the Michelle was terrific. Imhoff was wonderful. Barack was Barack. You know, he did a very nice job.
But I'll have to go back and watch all that.
But the problem I'm having is, if you watch this and watch all these people come up, they all give basically the same speech. You know, Kamala is wonderful, and she's terrific, and you know, she came up from nothing, and she became the prosecutor, blah 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 blah, and she's one of us. She's one of the people. And then the other part of that is, you then go into a mode of bashing Trump, which I don't know if I would do that at this point. Because the whole messaging that's out there is so positive that to start bashing Trump kind of impinges on that joyousness that you've created. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, they are all given, you know, the same general theme, you know, that they're trying to hit on. You can tell. So,
well, I think that's
good, but
I think that Barack, who basically is the best stand-up in America, you know, I mean, this guy's timing for comedy is impeccable. Okay. And when he did that line last night about, and what's all this about size? He says, you know, and he puts his hands together like this, and about size, and then he looks at his hands and he goes, and then he kind of looks at it and moves on. You know, I thought that was pure genius.
He got a lot of grief in the media.
He's gotten a lot of what?
Grief in the media.
No, he didn't get any grief for that. What? Who?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Everybody was talking about it because it was so funny.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Trump didn't like it, I'm sure.
Well, of course Trump didn't like it. Trump doesn't like anything. Trump doesn't have a sense of humor.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I heard somebody said that Trump was trying to soften his approach.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, I didn't hear
Well, it's not working, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
he could stay off the news for a week. That would be softened.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, Trump doesn't know how to handle this. That's his problem. No. He totally can't handle this. Doesn't make sense to him. He doesn't understand about a woman running for president who happens to be of color, and he just doesn't know what to do. He's completely gobsmacked. He had a whole game plan with Biden, and he's complaining. We spent millions of dollars getting a whole thing against Biden, and then they switch people on us. Oh, we. You know, you spent the $1 million. Good. You know, you were wasting your money. You were, you know. I mean, you don't spend $1 million going after your opponent. You spend $1 million convincing your people that you can do the job.
Sure.
You know?
What I still don't hear from him is how he's going to help the country.
Oh, there's nothing. Nothing.
He has no idea what to think about it.
Let's get rid of Obamacare. That went over real well when he, in 2016, didn't work. You know, he still wants to do it. I mean, it's not going to work this time either.
Well, what he's doing, the problem with Trump is he's using a playbook that's about 8 years old. You know, and he's not fighting the same person, and he's not fighting the same fight, And what won once for him, and he really didn't win because he certainly was 3 million votes short of a popular vote. But, whatever worked for him back then, you don't work the same playbook now. This is a whole different game, and he doesn't know how to play it.
I can't wait till the debate.
I can't wait till election
He's
night.
going to smash him.
I think, would you agree or disagree with me on this one, Josh? It's going to be a rout.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, we'll see after this convention how they're looking, but I mean, the thing is, I don't know if I'm ready to say that yet, but at the same time, if you were arguing that point to me, you would have a whole lot of evidence to point to over the last couple of weeks that keeps developing, and it would be hard for me to tell you that you were wrong, right? So
I want to see it be a rout because number one, I want to see Trump hurt. Okay, I want to see Trump hurt, and I want to see him in pain. All right, and
it's had to be painful.
Yeah. I want to see him in pain, and I think
they'll get a bump after the convention too.
They're going to get a good bump after this convention. I mean, people love to join people who are having a good time. Okay, and I think that's what's going to happen here. I think people are going to go. Even people who would normally not vote Democratic are going to say, I want to have fun with the rest of those people, and it is a joyous kind of mission that they're on, and it's playing itself out that way, and I'm I feel good when I watch it,
So Trump did this to a small extent. Kamala did this to a big extent. They brought a lot of people in that are influencers that are not mainstream media, that are just podcasters out there, and they got them in the crowd there. And so these podcasters every night are reporting on they got millions of people following them, kind of like Gabnet.
I didn't see any I didn't see any podcasters there.
Oh yeah, they had one on stage with them the first night.
Who?
I don't know what his name was or her name. They have podcasters. Look it up in the news. It's in the news too.
No, they probably have allowed podcasters to be there like they allow radio stations to be there and
probably,
networks
but
to
it's
be
just
there.
one more source that a lot of younger people especially go to these podcasts and follow them.
Oh, I think that probably Trump allows them in too. He just doesn't allow. He only allows the right wing podcasters in, but he allows them in. But it's the same as letting Fox in the door or letting anybody else in the door. So
except, well, I guess the podcasters put their spin on it too, just like Fox would. So
well, no, but podcasters are just as vile as the media.
But she's thinking outside the box. She's bringing it in. He brought in a few, but she brought in.
But if you don't think that who do you call Trump is letting podcasters in, you're nuts.
Oh, he did let him in. They said he had like 1,600 and she's got like 2,800 or something like that are actually in the convention.
All I know is that when you go to the conventions, they have a thing called Radio Row. And that's where all the radio programs are, and that's like where we were with Sirius XM and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that because of the influence now of podcasters, they're allowing people who are podcasters to be part of that broadcast row. So it would seem inconceivable that they didn't do that.
I think it's a smart move. A lot of young people listen to these podcasts day in and day out. And some of us older people, too.
But young people are not reliable voters. That's the problem.
Yeah, but all you got to do is vote.
I say they're not reliable voters.
Okay.
They don't necessarily get out and vote.
I think this is going to be like 2020. I think we're going to see a lot of blacks, a lot of women, and a lot of college-age kids, because this is their first time that they can vote. And they're going to vote for Kamala because they see her talking more about what they're interested in than Trump.
Well,
or Biden.
Well, how's she talking about what they're interested in? mean, all I know is that when I was that age, all I was interested in was getting laid.
Yeah, well, I don't know. She just,
I mean,
I think they can relate to her better because she doesn't act like she's, I don't know how old she is, 65, 60, whatever. She acts younger. She's more vibrant than Trump or Biden. She just, a lot of they're asking, they're surveying a lot of these students in colleges, and they're saying, well, it was Biden, we weren't going to vote, but now that it's Kamala,
when has let me ask Josh this, Josh? When has the youth vote ever been a determining factor?
No, I don't really know for sure. I seemed like Obama had a pretty good coalition there, but
Yeah.
I've never really sat back and look at the breakup of the electoral results and the age groups and all that. But it seemed like Obama had a pretty strong youth vote,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know about the Clintons 2 terms, I don't really think it was nearly as big a factor for him as it was later for like Obama.
the internet's a lot bigger.
Biden had young people voting for him in 2020.
What were you saying? What did you say, Charlie?
I said Biden had young people voting for him. In fact, some people said that made the difference. That's how he won in some of those close states.
Yep.
It was young people
Really?
coming out.
Oh, okay. Well, I just have always found that the younger voter, while they may act excited and all of that, they don't really get out and make a difference. Who makes a difference are the older voters. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mainly because you got nothing else to do but vote.
Right.
That's right.
I'll go wait 10 hours online. Yeah.
Me
nothing else
too.
to do.
Me too. In fact, during COVID, that's exactly what you had to do. So it was, but I think that I just think that there's a real sense of joyousness here, and I think that all those people who are on the fence, they're in the middle. I think they're going to go for Kamala. I think what it is the weariness of Trump. People are just tired of Trump. They're tired of the same old stuff. They're tired of the same old act. They're tired of the bashing. They're tired of the incivility. And I think that those people who are not all the way on the right, the people are going to vote for Trump are going to vote for Trump, and that's it. But that's only like 35%. So it's going to depend upon those other people, getting out. You kind of agreeing with me, Josh?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I know what you're saying, I guess I agreed a little bit.
Yeah. But then again, you'd agree with me on anything right now because you're still coming down off the THC.
I was just catching some of his speech there, was all. I was just catching some of his speech there. I was just watching the TV a little bit. He's still talking.
Does it look good?
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty upbeat, pretty fiery. Looks like.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, but I think enough of the Trump bashing. I think that you call him on things when he says stuff that's wrong. It's absolutely within the purview. But enough with the bashing. We've done it. Everybody knows that Trump is a terrible human being, and we move on from there and show what a wonderful human being Kamala is. And they're presenting her as a pretty upright person, And you don't hear the most they can come out against. Like, I love it when they try to come out with stuff against walls, because come on, this is Dad, this is your uncle, this is your, this is the teacher you had in school that you liked, and on top of that, he's a sportsman and uses guns, So he's got it all. He's got the whole package. And yet, what are the Republicans saying? You know what they're doing or saying over at Fox? That perhaps he's a sleeper agent for the Chinese. Because he went to China 30 times, something like 30 times.
He taught in China.
But he taught in China, yeah.
Right.
And he got married in China, you know. Oh, he must be a sleeper agent, right? The Manchurian Candidate. Okay, fine.
Yeah, right. I haven't heard that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, it was the headline yesterday on Drudge.
I don't watch much news anymore.
Yeah, the Fox was saying that he's a sleeper agent.
Yeah, that's got to be it.
Yeah. Well,
If Fox says so, it's got to be the truth.
But I mean, is that the most you've got against him? Oh, the tampons? Is that the most you can get against him? You know, Tampon Tim? What?
I hope this guy flips some of the states for Kamala around where he's governor at.
Well, a lot of those Midwestern states are gonna feel good about his message.
Yeah.
You know, and he knows, and more than that, he knows how to talk to them.
Yeah.
You know, that's important.
Yeah. And he also lived in several states
Yes.
in the Midwest.
Yes.
And you know, and Kamala, it's just the whole thing is very little they have against them. And then when they call Kamala the closest thing to a communist, I mean, come on. You know, she's pretty much in the middle somewhere around there, you know.
Oh, I don't know.
What do you mean? You don't know?
I think she's very left wing.
I don't think. To
the
extent that you could call her a communist.
No, obviously not. But and I think Waltz was a good choice because he's kind of like a moderator, and he'll balance out the scale.
I don't know that she isn't moderate herself. How do you think? What do you think, Josh? Is she moderate or is she a real lefty pinko?
I don't know if it's quite that far. I mean, they're going to try to play it like that. I don't think it's quite that far. I mean, I'm sure she's more progressive than they're really out there pushing for, because, you know, a lot of what they're pushing for is just kind of the anti-Trump deal, you know, the non-chaos, and just vote for her kind of, you know, for the good vibe of it all and everything, and to just not go back to this chaos and all that. So I think she's more progressive than you think. But I don't always think that matters in some ways, because presidents will work within what they're given, you know, and if she's got, you know, the House by a few votes and the Senate by a few votes and the White House, it doesn't mean they're going to be able to force all these crazy policies or anything like that, you know, because it's hard to get stuff done. And, you know, in some ways it should be. So I don't think it's anything that I would be concerned about. I mean, I'm sure she's more progressive than what we might think, but I don't think that it's far left or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know.
But I mean, what's his name? Trump calls her, says she's a communist.
Yeah, right.
Which, you know, I got to tell you, Donald, this concept that somebody's a communist is about 40 years out of date.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, even the Soviets aren't really communists at this point. You know.
Terrorists, but not communists.
The terrorists, but not communists, exactly.
What's so funny is Trump loves Kim Jong-un, and he's definitely a communist.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Trump needs to look in the mirror a little more often.
Oh, another great line that Michelle Obama had last night was that Trump doesn't realize that he's going after a black job.
Yeah.
that was a great line.
Yeah, really a very good line.
Yeah.
I don't know who wrote it for her, because it sounds like a comedy writer wrote it for her.
She's a smart woman.
She might have written that one herself.
She could have written it,
the same thing.
I would tend to think they have a few comedy writers,
Maybe.
you know, there, who can write a one-liner for them that might work. you know.
I don't think it was comedy. I think it was truthfulness.
Yeah.
But it was a comedy. It was a funny line. It was just a really funny line. It got a laugh. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll buy that.
You know. So pretty much that's the convention. You know, it's just one speech after another. That's pretty much the same speech. And then Oprah was speaking tonight. You know,
she already spoke, didn't she?
Huh?
Yeah.
She already spoke, didn't she?
Yeah.
She was the opener, whatever.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah.
Probably about an hour ago, she was on stage.
Yeah. And you know, they've got my vote now that Oprah's there. You know. I don't know. They don't want a lot of the big movie stars showing up. They don't want George Clooney getting up there. They don't want.
No.
Huh?
No, they don't want Clooney there.
Yeah.
He was the first one to go public with the Biden's got to step down.
Yeah. Yeah. But he was right.
Boy, Biden sure got a lot of positive attitude from the crowd when he was on stage.
Well, I mean, the thing is that what Biden did by not running was cement his legacy.
Well, he probably saved the country.
Yeah,
Probably.
but cemented his legacy in a very positive way. You know, I mean, everybody's got to say, "Hey, good going, you Joe. You know, you were selfless."
I think when she wins, he'll go down in history. I think Josh said this last week. He'll go down in history as one of our best presidents.
You talk about how hard it is to get things done. He got things done in his 4 years, in spite of the fact that he only had a slight majority of the first 2 years and lost the House the second two.
He got more things done than Trump did. Trump had total control in his first 2 years and couldn't get the wall built, couldn't get Obamacare canceled. A lot of stuff that he thought he was going to just snap his fingers and it was going to go away. Didn't work.
Yeah. Yep. You know. He managed to get a lot of stuff done. You know, there are things that he couldn't get done, but I mean, he wasn't. If she can get a Senate majority and she can get a congressional majority, she can get almost anything she wants to get done. You know, unless Manchin jumps into the fray. You know.
Well, Manchin's not running for re-election, so he won't be in there.
You're right. He's not running for re-election.
What's this? The moderate, the guy in between. What's his name? Kennedy. I love how he goes to Trump and says, "I'll stop if you give me a post in your administration."
Well, apparently,
no way. Last week,
apparently, Trump didn't say no way because it turns out that this Friday, RFK Jr. is stepping down with his run. And he is endorsing Donald Trump. Now, Mike,
I think Donald Trump has second thoughts about that because
this guy's. I mean, even to Trump, this guy's probably a nut job.
Well, my question is, what if? And I'll ask Josh this. Josh, what effect do you think that's going to have?
Probably not very much.
I'm claiming that actually the votes of those people won't go to Trump, even though he's endorsing Trump. They'll go to Kamala.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think people were going with RFK Jr. because they didn't like Biden and they didn't like Kamala, and they didn't like Biden and they didn't like Trump. Okay, so they went with RFK Jr. Would you agree with that? Josh?
A lot of it, right. Plus, there's just some people that followed him because he really believes some super crazy stuff who might still vote for neither of the two, you know, and vote for some other weird party that's on in their particular state or write somebody in or just not vote now or whatever, which is all about the same. You know?
Well, he had about 5% of the vote is what he had. And now that he's not there any longer, it doesn't mean those people are going to go with Trump.
Right.
You know? This isn't the,
what I wonder is if Trump promises them a post, is there anything that says he's got to actually do it if he becomes president?
no, doesn't have to do it.
No.
But he probably did agree to give him a post to get that endorsement.
I don't know. From his last presidency, I certainly wouldn't want to be in his cabinet.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
No.
Go to prison when you're done.
Yeah. Next step after the cabinet is prison. You're right.
Although prison, probably the psych ward would probably do Kennedy good. I'm sorry, Jeff.
Yeah.
I talked.
Yeah, Jeff.
I gotta go to bed because I got an early.
Good, because
doctor
we're
meeting.
over in about 7 minutes.
I know, but I'm like falling asleep anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I
Well,
thought maybe you took one of those capsules. Did you?
No, I took 7 other pills.
Wait. As you get older, you take more pills, I think, in life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Jeff, thank you. We always
Thank
enjoy
you.
having you here.
Good night,
Thank
Jeff.
you guys.
Bye-bye to Jeff.
Bye.
Okay.
Good night.
Anyway, there he goes. Oh, he lost me. He collapsed. Did you see that? The whole thing collapsed. So where do you think it goes from here, Josh? You think that Kamala is going to be able to keep this roll going?
I think so. Yeah, tomorrow's the big night for it. So, I mean, they seem to be on the right track to me. I think they just should keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Stay with it.
Trump keeps liking to point out that she won't go one-on-one in front of a reporter on why do that when all this is working?
Well, no, I think the reason she wasn't is that because there was no convention yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I think she wanted to wait for the convention to be over with, and that there's a platform and all of that, and she officially has the job, and I think then she wants to do it. The fact that Trump will talk to anybody, anytime, anywhere, and make an ass out of himself, doesn't make him some kind of brave guy. And she stops and talks to the press when she's out coming off a plane or something, and somebody from the press asks her questions. She stops, gives them an answer, and moves on. So, I mean, how's that? Huh?
I was gonna say, Trump's holding these press conferences, but he completely ignores whatever the questions are and just says whatever he wants to say.
Yeah,
so
but
I don't see how that's any better.
That happened in 2016 election too.
Well,
they would ask him questions, and he would, just say what he wanted to say.
Well, you saw him the other day. He was selling coffee. I mean, I don't. What was that
Are you
about?
serious?
He was out at his Edward
I think
Burger.
Tony probably bought it all.
I wonder if this is actually Edward Burger. Hold on a second, folks.
He never calls at night.
No, let's see. Let's see who this is. Okay, because I'm just going to put my picture up now, and let's see here. Edward Burger. Okay, the person's not joining. Edward Burger would join faster. Okay.
Him at night. I see him on the Monday show when I watch it later in the day.
Yeah, he would join faster. This guy isn't joining faster. Okay. So come on. Are you okay? Well, now he's frozen there. What's his problem? Okay, it says this is joining. Well, I don't know what his problem is, but I don't have it's not like I don't have a thing where I can stop muting.
He never seems to have a problem on Mondays.
No, never seems to have a problem. Let me see here. Let me turn that off. Let me get rid of that, and then let me bring it back in here to participants. Well, he's still there. Let me see here. No. Waiting participants, waiting room participants. Okay. Everyone in meeting, waiting room participants. No. Okay, well, forget it. He's just joining, and nothing's happening. So I'm just going to put you guys back up, and then I will just be ready to, if that guy does anything, Anyway. So, we got another night of this. I'm not going to do a show tomorrow night because I figure a lot of people are going to want to watch, the big night with Kamala. And, he just hung up, yeah. So I think it's a good move on my part not to do it. And I think you people would probably want to watch it too,
Yes.
And
I'll be umpiring, so.
Yeah, you'll be umpiring, and I'll be sitting here just, talking to myself. Well, I might be talking to the cat. We got the cat here.
Oh, okay.
And the cat's, I'm sure, right out the door now, waiting for me to be finished here so she can then, rub up a lot against me. But anyway, so, I figured that tomorrow night I just won't do a show. I told Amy that I'm not going to. Amy can, because probably by the time Amy goes on, if she has started giving her speech, she'll almost be through. So, But, But are you guys happy with what you're seeing and how this is playing itself out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it amazing the difference in the mood that we feel, even just us here? Because of the change that has happened. Because I didn't think Kamala would be this good. I did not think she was going to be, and from the get-go, she played it just right.
I love.
She was really good in those Senate hearings. So
no, that's fine. That's fine, but that's a Senate hearing. I'm talking about running for president.
She's had a try at it already once.
No, what happened was, she was on her feet running from day one. She
learned from the last time.
Well, but she wasn't running then, really. She was just debating.
Oh.
Doing stuff like that. She wasn't in the running kind of thing. And here she's running. She hit the ground running. And I thought, she amazed me. I was not a person who thought she was going to be, really terrific. And what do you know? And I'm so delighted. I'm so happy. And I'm so behind her that I can't believe it. Because I've never been this much behind a can. I don't even think I was this much behind Obama. I mean, I liked Obama, but I wasn't that thrilled by Obama. But I'm thrilled by her, And she's hitting all the right notes, right, Josh?
So far.
Yeah. So are you going to be able to be here on Friday, Josh?
Yeah, I'm not working till Saturday, so I should be here Friday.
Oh, okay, because, then there'll be a lot to talk about once it's all over with. We'll probably get some numbers by then, because I'm sure they're out there testing the waters right now, and it'll just get better and better. So let's wait and see. But I think it's been terrific.
Yeah.
I have no complaints, except for the fact they should have gotten these people on earlier. It
is going a little late. I would agree with that.
An hour would have made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I would agree.
And don't forget us people on the East Coast, okay? Anyway, hey, listen, I really appreciate you people being here. I want to thank Jeff, who had to leave early because he's falling asleep. Charlie, always a pleasure having you here. Great having you here, Alan and Josh. Nice having you here. Glad to see that you're not as stoned as you were. Okay. But anyway, everybody, why don't you wind up giving yourself a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you and say, there goes our citizen panel, folks, for tonight. But they'll be back here again on Friday. We're not going to do a show tomorrow night because the big Kamala Love Fest is going to be wrapping up there in Chicago, and we want to see it play itself out, and we want you to be able to watch it and all of that. And then we'll reassemble here on Friday, and we'll talk all about it. And what's been going on. In the meantime, we got Amy Manuel next. She's here with The Intersection, and she'll be taking your calls at on Skype at Gabnet Live. Skype at Gabnet Live. I'll see you again, as I say, on Friday night this time. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.